So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 10 of The Caster's Curse. I'm, of course, your host, Ryan, a.k.a. Ryan Fools, and I'm joined alongside my usual co-host. He had a little hiatus, but he's back, Jacob, a.k.a. PR, and, of course, two special guests, two first-timers on The Caster's Curse. We have DeMarco Gaines, a.k.a. Drix, Rise Nation. You already know who he is, one of the biggest content creators in Gears of War as well. And, Frank, I don't know your full name, but I'm going to call you Frank KO. You had 10 different gamer tags at this point, but y'all know him as Frank or Franko, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. How is everyone doing post E-League?
Pretty good. I wish I was still there, to be honest.
Chilling, man.
Hell yeah.
Too.
Right. I just want to play Gears again, to be honest.
I mean,
That was the one thing I was like going into dreading, and just like going back to
Yeah, I know.
that game.
that's how you know, bro. Like something's up. Like I want to like grind the hell out of Gears right now, and you know me, like they call me Ghost Cam. Like that's usually my thing. Like dude, like I was loving playing that shit. Like I played it for way too many hours, of course, with the content creators and dudes like Shadows and all that, and of course with some of the pros when they had time. But it's a good feeling. It's a good time right now. I think that kind of sucks that we don't get to play it again for you know we the betas, but outside of that we got to still wait till September. But man, that was a hell of a weekend.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll first kind of I guess leads right into our fucking first topic. E-League, it happened. The tournament happened. I guess we all know the story ends. Obviously, we know who the winner was, but I don't want to talk as much about who the winner was because I think most people kind of expected that to be the case. But I want to talk about the E-League. Just recap in general. When I say recap, I want top to bottom like the E-League experience, right? And DeMarco, you played, and so I want to obviously lean on you a lot in this. Like, I want the start to finish experience because I know like bro, E-League was different.
No, yeah, it was when we first walked in, like it's the studios like where Shaq does like his the little sports thing. That's pretty cool. That all the big stuff is in there. And then when we were there, like everybody got like a $200 gift card. Then
I
like,
seen that.
one of
Yep.
the
You guys
days,
have plastic.
yeah, like,
They're gonna need plastic. I was like, what
that's
is
what I'm saying.
Damn.
Yeah, everybody got like sweatshirts too.
Yeah.
Each team had their own individual room to like practice, like Gal 5. That's pretty. I think
That was cool as
the
hell.
best part. And then the food, like you really didn't have to spend any money that weekend. Like literally, like we had Chick-fil-A, all kind of stuff, Chipotle, I think, all kind of food. So they did a good job, like taking care of the players. So hopefully, like we get to do something with them in the future.
Those private rooms were so cool. Like, and it was fun for me to hop around into like each room and kind of just see how each team was sort of like preparing, how each team was kind of taking on obviously the task of a new game. And so the fact that they gave you guys literally like your own little like lab, so to speak, to just be with each other, like learn together, grind the hell out of the game, like that was super super cool. And
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was cool.
Jacob, from the talent perspective, I mean, I'm sure that they treated you guys just as incredible in that end as well.
Yeah, no, from start to finish, like we had trucks waiting for us, shuttles take us there, just VIP access basically. We got to play the game just the same as them. Like we were playing like on the main stage. We got to go in the rooms, just watch all the players play. Just like them, we were taken care of every step of the way. Just like none other. Like MLG does a great job as well. Like don't get me wrong, just it's just on another level. It's just that extra level of just personal care. And I understand it. It's coming from like a TV broadcast, like an actual studio. So like I understand where they get that extra level of care from.
You know, and Sylvia's in the chat said like those rooms probably stunk after scrims. Like, what I will say is was funny as fuck. Like, bro, I went to every single room for the most part. I popped into like come over here and there. Every single room had their own like distinct ass smell. Like every team smells different. Like there was no like, and I'm not saying bad or good. I'm just saying like every team had like their own smell. You know what I'm saying? Like you go into the Rise Nation room, smells like mad like cologne. You go into the fucking Optic or Tox room, smells like mad gold chains. Like just you know what I'm saying? Like whatever. Every room had its own smell. So that was, I just want to make sure I point that out because that was pretty funny. And then Frank, obviously you got in on Saturday, right? Because you were there from winning the Microsoft Store tournament. What do they do? They have you guys do anything out there with the Microsoft Store stuff?
I mean, I don't want to put Microsoft under and all that, but they did owe us $100 gift card we never got, so it's all good. But I'm gonna let that rock. I'm gonna have to take that up with somebody. But other than that, man, I finessed my way, had a great time. Shout out to Binks and Dame and all them and all the E-League staff because they really did their thing, feeding people and feeding the fam. For sure, when you was at the event, you got treated like royalty, even though I wasn't a player. But yeah, nah, E-League does great, and like, I mean, not to down talk MLG, but
Yeah, I mean,
it's a little bit more structured in my opinion, and I feel like through time, they can only be better if we keep working with them.
Yeah, nothing that we say tonight, like in general, obviously we'll gas up E-League. Of course, the last topic of the night is the PGL League. Like, no good things we say about another TO means that MLG did bad, right? MLG was like a life-changing company for a lot of us, right?
Yeah,
MLG literally
facts.
built what lets us do this today. So, of course, we are all nothing but super, super gracious. But like I said, at the same time, we also want to make sure we give the proper shine to people like E-League who did also give us an incredible experience too. So, me personally, like I said, I win as kind of like an influencer, like kind of content type role. I recorded a lot of content. I basically followed around Shadows and Raw and kind of learned some of the stuff from them, start to finish. So I was really, really happy that they let me kind of tail along with them. And again, same kind of experience as you guys, man. Like every which way we were treated like royalty. Like the food. I mean, all the equipment everywhere. I mean, like I said, they let us play the hell out of the game. They let us record a bunch of content. Like every step of the way for me was a blast too. So I'm super, super glad I went personally. I know obviously I didn't work the event or wasn't with a team, but even just the opportunity to play the game for basically 2 straight days and learn the hell out of Escalation. Like I really feel like I have a super good grasp of the game type now, and kind of makes me miss being a coach a little bit because like I was finding out stuff left and right about the game, and like damn, like if I had a team, like I'd love to like lab this with the team, but like I said, we had to kind of, me and Jordan were sort of pawning off little tricks here and there to other teams, but it was just an absolute blast. So like I said, I think we're all in kind of agreement that E-League is fucking dope. And so that kind of brings us into the part where what we actually all came out there for, which was, they had a tournament, by the way. There was an 8-team invitational, 8 of the best teams, of course, in the world coming into the new game. That was super, super exciting. I know that, like I said, obviously Tox did end up winning that. I think a lot of people would have had that as their favorites. You'd be stupid not to. But there was a few other kind of interesting results along the way. And I guess we'll kind of start, maybe we'll go kind of round by round. Maybe even, I mean, it's only 8 teams. And probably even go match by match and just kind of talk about things that maybe surprised you guys, didn't surprise you guys. And to the viewers at home, if you guys are kind of wondering how certain people, why matches played the way they did, there was a Swiss system tournament, which meant that each team on Friday played 2 matches. And those 2 matches basically kind of gave them their seed into the next day. And there's a couple things like were randomized, of course, like obviously because they only played 2 matches, it wasn't a full Swiss, so there's a couple teams that were 2-0. From there, that'd be randomized and kind of so on and so forth. But we had some interesting first round matches. I think the best match, obviously, of the first round was obviously the Reciprocity versus Rise match. Of course, that was 2 of the best teams in the world going up in the first round. Of course, is going to be always scary from there. I mean, I think the first round, I think that was the Glory, like 14-0, I think. That was in the first round. I know Mazer EU's Finest wasn't very close. And then Tox Simplicity actually was pretty close. We'll talk about that one maybe afterwards. But I guess, DeMarco, from your perspective, obviously your guys' match Reciprocity was still pretty close. But, I mean, what were your kind of thoughts, I guess, after playing your first series on the new game?
Well, to be honest, I feel like I think we kind of went in there like with the Gears 4 mentality, especially like being a new team. So like as you can see, like we clearly had nothing to do with slaying on this game mode. Now it's the teamwork aspect, and especially being a new team, like that they clearly expose us because in my opinion we got shit on. So no matter how many rounds we got, so
I was super
like.
Oh, sorry, I didn't cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say like this new game mode is super. It's not about hero plays anymore. It's not about Vic going out there and just straight line to get in a 1v3 and like we just winning off something like that. Now everybody gotta like hold hands, wolf pack, and like me and Avexi said, like we knew Ghost was gonna be, they're gonna be that
Bro,
team.
they were nasty
because they always play with each other. They always play rank with each other, and they're like literally a family. So. And they got a lot of teamwork. They always have. So.
And you guys played what, Training Grounds and District, right? Like the 2 new maps. Yeah. That's one thing I loved was the fact that like pretty much every team, every series, those 2 maps were first. I was actually super, super afraid when I saw that there was 3 old maps. I was afraid that teams would just lean on maps they know, and then every series would just be like ban the new maps and play Foundation and Forge, right? So like I was so happy that like every match had, I think every single match across the weekend had like the first 2 maps being the new maps.
Yeah. They were like they said the two new maps had to be played.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that was awesome.
I think Node and Dana said they didn't want the new maps to be shown yet, so they only wanted to put the two new maps in for now.
Yeah, and there's
I don't know how true it was, but I heard those maps aren't even in like the real.
I see. I don't think they are. They got a lot of criticism for the fact there was old maps in the game. Like people got to realize too, like they can't just dump 5 new maps into the game, right? Like if they dump five, or sorry, in the tournament,
Too much
they
content.
dump 5 new maps in the
Yeah,
tournament. Like
exactly.
on release day, like everyone already knows like what's coming. Like that takes away from a lot of like the hype stuff. So like while it does, yeah, while it did look kind of weird to like watch the foundation copy paste, the damn copy paste, like that kind of had to be done. I guess the only other solution could have maybe been to only do put a third new map in and then only do best of 3 cycles. But even then, like then you're giving away potentially X amount. There's some percentage of maps you're giving away off the jump, right? And obviously none of us are game developers, but like I'm sure there's some kind of marketing system in there where it's like, okay, like we can only show so much pre-release for a number of reasons. So yeah, I don't think that, again, because Foundation, Dam, and Forge were like literal copy paste, I don't think they're going to be in the game. And I could be wrong.
I heard they weren't. I heard they were literally, and I heard that specific version was literally built for E-League. I don't know how true that was or not.
Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true too. Actually, it was like I think it's its own build at the same time. So I'm curious to see like what we get from the beta, of course, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I guess like I said, the only other first round match that was had any kind of excitement, honestly, was actually the Tox versus Simplicity match. And to me, the reason that was so exciting was because they played in the Swiss system, and Tox just beat him the fuck up. And so you kind of expected like, okay, like they're playing again first round, like we all right, we know this story ends, like, but like, dude, Simplicity should have won that first map.
Yeah.
It was actually really exciting to watch because like even with like Jay coming back in those scrims, people didn't give them credit. Like you said, they got beat up. So to be able to come out, force that map, and that's what kind of like thought to me. I was like, okay, maybe teams got a chance against Tox this time around.
No, I to be honest, like I still think they do. I feel like Ghost was just choking, but I feel like Optic can be very beautiful in this game. To be
100%.
honest.
Yeah.
There's literally no way. There's really no way. Like, if people play this game and dedicate their time and put in their work, Optic does, because Optic does put in their work. It's just not magical. Those kids actually put in the work.
Yeah.
So like, if they put in the work, I don't see Optic winning every event. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not discrediting those 5 guys, six people over there. Tops, I meant to say, but like it's too many variables in this game at this point where it's just like there can't be that Billy or that Gilbert to take over and drop 40, both of them, and it just can't. It's impossible because there is a time when Billy will die more than 5 times, and there's a time when Gilbert will die more than 5 times. He takes out the match early because of his spawn, the way he plays. And I just don't. I don't see Tox taking every event or just taking majority, but I do see them still being top contender for winning events. 100%.
Yeah, I mean they're by far and outright and far and away the favorite in every event until proven otherwise. That'll never change. But I think, and some people will say like, oh, like people always say this, or people people might say like, oh, like why are you guys trying to say they're bad? They already won. Da, da, da. Like again, 100% right. Like absolutely, those kids are freaks. I want to take a little bit what DeMarco said about like, okay, we can't rely on Vic making a hero play, for example, right? Like the reason those kids are so good is because they have 5 heroes in their team, right? Like Tox has 5 heroes who can always do that, and so I guess like maybe in this game, and just from what we've seen so far, like. Teamwork can be more viable in this game potentially than it was in Gears 4, right? So what comes to mind is like our old Envy team, right? Like our old Envy team had psychotic teamwork, but like you know what, like Optic was better than us at the video game overall, right? Like what I'm saying, like they just killed us more, right? Despite our teamwork being so good, like it was never enough, right? Our teamwork, despite having amazing players, our teamwork was just never quite enough. And maybe in Gears 5, a heavy teamwork team can go toe to toe with something like that. We don't know. Again, like I said, they also didn't put much time into Gears 4. They put the work in, but they didn't put half as much time as they probably could have, right? Because they were already so good at it. Like now, if Tox goes in and puts the crazy amount of work in too, I mean, they could just literally just go back to being Thanos again. Like all signs point that direction until proven otherwise is kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and Ghost was actually like in a good spot.
Yeah.
They were up 4-2 going into the half on the first map. They won the second map, and it was that third and fourth map after certain events happened, I guess, in the game. They just kind of ran out of gas. That was just unfortunate.
You
And
gotta remember
especially
that's
after
we talked
playing
about that
the
earlier,
rec
too.
game before as well, that was a nail biter.
But Ghost did steal the second map away in the finals just the same way Optic kind of stole it away. Actually, I think Ghost even stole it crazier. Wasn't it like a 6-2 that Ghost came back on?
Yeah. Yep.
So
And
that went 2 ways, yeah.
DeMarco even talked about it over the weekend. I'm sorry to cut y'all off.
No.
But like it's a thing with Optic that people just can't do, and DeMarco and I have both fought them, in tournament and seen it. Like those kids are the epitome of I have perseverance. They will
Oh, yeah.
they will go 7 maps and be 100% 7 maps if you give them the chance. You know what I'm saying? They'll go 6 maps and be 100% all 6. You know, like
Yeah.
they'll do it. And like there's just there's not there's just not enough players out there. You know what I'm saying? That can get through that. You know what I'm saying? That type of energy and use and keep that same pace for damn near 4 hours of gameplay.
Yeah,
3 hours of
I was
gameplay.
talking to those actually. I was talking to Tox in their room, but like somehow like this kind of thing came up, and like no, like that really is a factor. Like think back into history, and like we were kind of just talking about this too. Like think back in history, dude. We've reset the bracket. My team's reset the bracket against them twice. That happened twice in Gears 4, right? Like in both times, it was the first time was in Columbus, the very first event. First time was in Columbus, second time was in Atlantic City, right? Like we like people forget that. Like I know like obviously they whooped everyone's ass for the most part, but like there's teams that have taken series off them, and twice it was in grand finals, right? But the resilience, like you said, is a thing. Like stamina is a thing. Like all that stuff. Like composure. Just despite us winning the first series, like never once did they look phased. You know what I'm saying? Like never once did they look like they were under duress or they were worried. Because that's just not who they are. And so, like I said, yeah, the best of 5. I mean that of course suits them better than probably anyone because that's a long haul. I didn't go that far, but had it. I mean, shit. Can you imagine 5 escalation maps in a row? That matter, not a scrim, right? Not a scrim, you can just kind of kick back, check your phone a little bit mid-round. No, bro, you are sweating.
You're
Main
screaming in the
stage,
best of
screaming,
5, literally.
Lights in your neck, sweating, people yelling at you. You got the team
Yep.
at you, got the other team yelling at you. There's a lot to take in for like 3 hours, 3 out of 4 hours of gameplay, and like knowing like this is it. There's a lot, man.
Yeah.
No, for
Especially
sure.
when it's like single elimination. Like I feel like that.
Oh, yeah, what do you guys think of that, DeMarco, as competitors?
Yeah.
I'm curious about that.
What? Single elimination?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like that's benefited you guys in the past too, right? You guys made grand finals in a similar tournament too. So
Yeah. I just feel like it just makes you like put your back against the wall. Like you try even harder because you only got one chance.
that
Yeah,
every map round, like everything matters. I like it personally. Like as a competitor, like of course, like double elimination, like players always want the most chances to win. I get it, but like since I became kind of like talent, whatever, I look it through the eyes of like the viewer and like the storylines and stuff like that, man. Like like that single elimination, like you got to put it all out there. Like everything matters, and like that can lead you to more situations where you have more upsets and things like that. But again, like I also, because I was on a team for so long, I empathize with the other side of the coin, which is like I want the most ways possible to win. So like it's to me, I'm always curious to see like what players like it and don't like it, because I mean, like I said, it can also have plenty of benefit for teams at time too. Like if you let's say we'll use Toxian as the example because they're the favorite. Let's say you knock Tox out in the round of 8. Right? Like you're like, okay, like in a double elimination tournament, like they're coming back, right? So like, they're back. But if you knock them out in a single elimination tournament in the round of 8, then they're gone, right? Like they're then the tournament becomes wide open, right? So
Simplicity does that.
right, yeah. What if Sim had actually like won that match, right?
Does that? It's over. Like
Yeah, eyes open. Yeah, it's crazy.
people probably like view it different. The people probably view the game as like there's hope now, instead of people are thinking just Toxic is just gonna dominate again.
Yeah,
I feel like people come in here with that mentality, like all the amateurs,
they
shit
will
like that. They're just gonna stay the same because,
Yeah.
like I said, like I think right now, in my opinion, like the top 8 that just from E League will be the same top 8 for a moment. I think it's gonna be hard for these AMs to.
I already think me and
break
Ryan are
that.
talking about this. There's already gonna be a roster changes.
Oh yeah, roster changes. I don't.
Of course.
Like
half the teams in E League are already gonna replace.
Are already changing. Like it's Gears of War. I don't care what league comes into this, what happens, whatever happens. People are going to get dropped. Teams are going to get switched. Players will not stay on that same team. And for a fact, I'm telling you, the same top 8, every single player that's in top 8 right now will not be in top 8 September, and that is for a fact. There's no way in here.
I expect Hive there. I expect Hive.
Yeah, I do.
Hive's gonna be good.
too.
Yeah, Hive's gonna be really good.
I think Hive probably get like a good coach down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I said,
I get a good.
They need like a veteran coach, I think, or someone that just, and again, not that I know they've had coaches at events and stuff like that, but like I think someone who's kind of been there before, like random guys that come to mind, someone like a Tanner Rain or something, like someone who's just been there forever. Not that he would ever come and do that, and he'd probably laugh at me for saying that he should be the one to do it, but like a guy who's just been around forever, played all the games, like just been there a million times, been on that stage, like because obviously the talent's there right there. That's the next wave of like superstars and Gears, like whether anyone likes it or not, like the Hive roster is like the future of kind of Gears esports, right? That's where Vic came from too. Like Vic just got plucked and put on an already established team, and so
all those kids are great.
Yeah. So again, new game, new pros. We just said that earlier, but kind of before everything else started. But Jacob, we've said this like since the first episode. Like we have like on the Caster's Curse, we have roster change periods, and we've passed a few of them now, and there's been a few roster changes, and now there's the E-League roster change period. Not that E-League has any bearing on our circuit because they really don't. This is like an invitational, but you already know how people get. Like there's going to be changes. Like obviously, like look at Glory for example. They got beat up pretty bad. I would be very surprised if that roster, for example, sticks together. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing some. I love those guys, but just it's hard to that's the kind of hard pill to swallow sometimes.
Yeah, you can't think they will. There's no way. Like that team, you can't think they will. Like I think Simplicity will go through a roster change, and I think it will be a good one for them as well.
Yeah, me too.
I think Rise is gonna pick me up. Who else?
I agree, PR.
That's what I'm saying. I've just been waiting.
Jacob's funny.
I don't know,
but definitely teams are definitely gonna change right now, especially since like you guys know the game's coming out September. You guys know there's a pro league, and then there's open events. So like, there's definitely gonna be more. Like I was wrong, Ryan. There's gonna be more after E-League. There's gonna be the pro league roster change.
Oh, so you're calling another roster change period, Jacob?
Yeah, the pro league roster change period.
Yeah, so we know obviously we'll talk about this in the last topic. There's going to be 3 majors and a Worlds, which I can't wait to talk about that a little later because the idea of having a Worlds is pretty dope. But
it's insane.
Kind of heading back over towards, like I said, the tournament itself. Obviously, the first round kind of is what it was. I mean, again, the highlight of the first round definitely was obviously Rise versus Reciprocity. Like I said, DeMarco probably came into it maybe like not the wrong mentality, so to speak, but maybe the wrong kind of, I guess, outlook on how to play the game, whatever it may be. Obviously, like I said, I think for every team, no matter what you placed, this weekend was a huge learning experience at the end of the day. Like, so, I would think that every team should come out of this weekend, despite, maybe being upset that they got the placing they got. Like you have a good idea of how the game plays now. You have a good idea of like what it currently takes to win, and so that to me is worth its weight in gold, right? So like, even Glory they didn't win a round, right? But I'm sure they fucking learned quite a bit about the game and the game type, right? And I'm sure they're gonna go back to the drawing board now and still kind of have a little better idea going forward. But semifinals, I actually was super pumped for these semifinal matches, and of course I love you guys on Rise, but the Rec Ghost matchup is always fucking nuts. And so I was super pumped to have the Rec Ghost matchup. And then, of course, Tox versus EU's Finest. And, Mikey, thank you so much for the sub, buddy. That is 4 months in a row. I appreciate you. But I was super excited to have EU's Finest and Tox play until it actually happened. Because normally that's a historically great matchup as well, right? Obviously, Tox always is the better of them. But EU's Finest is one of those teams that always plays them pretty close. And so I guess we'll start with that one because it wasn't close at all. I was actually half the venue was walking around saying that EU's Finest is gonna beat Tox, and this is what's gonna happen, all this stuff, and we're gonna have the all international final, and then dude, they just got smoked. Like that, I guess I had way higher expectations of that match. I don't know if you guys maybe did or didn't, but
yeah, I 100% did, especially after hearing from everybody about how good EU's Finest was and everything. I got to cast the match, and luckily for us, like we have like 3 monitors set up over there, but the middle monitor was literally dedicated to the mini map, so you can kind of see everything. You can kind of see where the players are pushing, so you kind of know what to cast out. And watching that plus the actual gameplay while casting, I said it like as good as I can say it. EU's Finest was just literally waiting for the perfect moment to try and make their move, and they were playing passive all tournament long, so it kind of worked for them against other teams. But against Tox creates their moment. They're able to push when they want to push and take over. So if you're playing passive against them and you're waiting for that perfect moment, it's not going to come against that team, because against a team like Tox or even Ghost or even Reciprocity, you guys got to be able to create your own moments, and you got to be able to have your own game plan going into it. Especially a game like Years 5, to where you're able to set up your half of the map theoretically is different than the other half. So your game plan is on your half of the map. So you need to know how you're going to play it. You can't always play reactionary in this game. So that's where I think EU's Finest kind of messed up, and they played too passive against a team like Tox, where half the time they played perfect.
Do you remember, Jacob, how the weapons played out in that match? Because that's one thing to think about now when we kind of like look back at matches now. Like it's not always about like who shot better, who chunked each other, but all that bullshit, right? Like now you got to think back of like, okay, like weapons, right? We got outplayed on weapon placements. That's actually like a thing now. Like when Simplicity and Tox played the first time, like Tox outplayed them on the weapons heavily, and then once you can start to lose that battle, then it's really hard to come back from.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I agree with you, because you.
Go ahead, Jacob. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say against like teams like that are certain heavy on certain weapons. Let's say like a Marksha, for example, or you know they're gonna put like a boom shot. You can literally take away their entire game plan by throwing that weapon center line. So you could really have targeted picks, targeted weapon placements on certain teams for certain players. So that to me that's unique and it's gonna go into extra planning in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think back of like obviously like with Ghost, like one of the big, I guess the big strategies, right, was to put the marks on the center line. And again, when we jump into escalation as a kind of a topic, we'll talk about more conceptually how that works. But yeah, I was just trying. When I start doing like when I get back on the desk and stuff and start doing the analyst work now, like I just was theory crafting how I'm going to start making my notes and formatting my notes because now like you have to think about like what each team placed like in what kind of order and like what they focused on and how they kind of made their trees come to life and all that stuff. So that's why I was just think back just to what weapons were placed in certain matchups because that's going to play a huge factor now, which is honestly pretty exciting.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I guess anything else that stuck out to you guys in that except the East finest match in Toxo, like I thought it was going to be a banger and it just wasn't. Anything else that really stuck out to you guys? I think Craze is going to be a monster at this game. I think as a whole, I think like I said that was not a good showing for them, but I think as a whole this game will cater to that team better. I think that like the slower, more pace. When they hit shots, they always play on like slower sensitivity. It seems like they move a little slower as a unit, kind of. It seems like, but that's gonna like cater to them a lot. And then Craze is gonna be just I think probably the headline of that team this time.
Yeah. I think so too.
I think what we saw at E-League realistically was just kind of a taste of what we're going to see the game because I said it before, I said it during what we saw right then and there, the meta, how the game played. That's not what we're going to see by the time like what the first event or the first Pro League qualifier comes around. Things are going to change. Teams are going to have their own style unless teams figure out a way to like have game breaking, boom fights or you're forcing certain things on certain maps. Like I saw certain things on training grounds that I feel like that's the way the map's going to be played with the shot grenades. I don't see that
Yeah.
changing too much because that's how the map layout is. So you don't have the shot grenade, you put yourself at a disadvantage realistically. But certain things like that, otherwise, I see creativity coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do
no, for
too.
sure. For sure. No, it's exciting. And we'll dive into, like I said, Escalation a lot, just from a conceptual standpoint and kind of how certain maps played out. But flipping over to the other semifinal, like I said, we knew it was going to be a nuts match, and it honestly was. For a little just kind of background on that matchup, at least that weekend, of course, we've seen Reciprocity and Ghost have some crazy matches at past events. Some have gone Rex way, some have gone Ghost way. It's just been a very, very back and forth series. And then those teams actually played in the Swiss system tournament. And it went round 13, map 3. And then, of course, they meet back in semifinals, map 3, round 13. And dude, that series was just one of the craziest series of Gears of War in general I've ever seen. Not even just Gears 5, like just in general, that was one of the craziest series ever. And like I said, it was amazing to be there live. Unfortunately, I was sitting with Fran's family, so that part kind of sucked. But outside of that, I know, Jacob, you were probably on the other end enjoying that result.
It was, to me, just watching it. I'm over here on the stairs. I might cut off. Not even know what to expect there. Yeah, because like that just was just a nail biter, a new game, but an old map.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh man, it just came down to
To be honest, like I mean, Ghost should have won a long time ago, but like obviously momentum is a thing in this game now, like very
yeah.
big. And like Rec just had they started killing each other.
I would
Like,
say, bro, that round
Icy
13.
accidentally killed Rezig, and then Rushy killed Fran with a boom after Fran got a 1v2.
1v2, I know.
Just little things like
Honestly, like,
it's so many weapons on the map, especially at that E fight, like booms, drops, like
well, they were going up
people
top
gotta
too. People were
be
drinking
aware.
booms, drops
Yep.
up top. But to me, like on that last round 13, like the thing that was the thing that kind of stuck out the most, despite the team kills, was that Icy actually made the play of the century, dude. And he pushed over to the home hill pillars. He pushes two kids. They don't even know he's there. A huge lapse in communication by Ghost, and then comes right up behind two people, shoots one, doesn't get the chunk, and then realizes he has no ammo. And so what could have been the biggest two-piece, easiest two-piece, no one knew he was there, bro. That actually hurt me the most, despite the team kills, because that again also would have won them the round.
Yep.
And then we had Trash Can Gate, but we're not going to talk about Trash Can Gate much out here because that's just asking for a lot of trouble. But yeah, that's what's fun, Trash Can Gate. By the way, Frank, you got the loudest keyboard I ever heard. By the way,
My bad.
I'm just like thinking, just click. All right, but either way, Frank, as you're typing away, any insight on the semifinal matches?
First, well, I want to go into that. What was it? Ghost versus who was it? Was it
Wreck.
Ghost versus Wreck?
Yeah.
Unfortunate for Icy. That's a fact. That's a fact. Unfortunate for Icy. They didn't. They the whole 6-8 or the 8-6 is kind of gonna change up the gameplay and how clutch people can be. But like for the most part, like the match itself was really great. I I think Ghost can win an event this season. I'm just saying that, like for a fact, I think they can win an event this season. Out of all the teams I've seen this weekend, Ghost can, and that's a fact. Like I see them winning an event, and then I see Scent breaking out and doing something even better.
Yeah, I think right now, like we're sort of in a weird situation where, like, not weird, but it feels like kind of the beginning of Gears 4, and of course this is one weekend, one tournament. Obviously, there's other people that haven't touched the game, but it feels like we're back in that like tiered kind of like teams right now, which is like, okay, obviously Tox is the number one kind of untouchable tier right now, and then like it used to be like then the Envy team, and then it used to be from there it was like, you know, E United, and then now it's like, okay, like now it feels like it's like Tox right now, and then it's like Ghost and Wreck are like right up there. Ghost, I'll give the nod to. They won the both round 13s, but both matches went to round 13, game 3. So like those are very evenly matched teams. And then from there, like the EU's finest, and then from there, like then it kind of just feels a little jumbled right now. And of course, that's the game's going to come out, and that's going to probably change. But that was kind of like what I came away with the weekend in terms of like after those 2 days of preparation, those 3 days, whatever it was, after those days of preparation tournament, like that's kind of where we are. And of course, like I said, moving on to, we talked about grand finals a little bit already. Tox did end up winning it. A very, very winnable map number 1 for sure, and Ghost even stole the second map. But to me, those almost even out, right? Like the Tox stole map 1, Ghost stole map 2, and then Tox ran away with it. So to me, like it while it was a good match in the beginning, like in the end, like it wasn't really that close. I guess I don't know. I came away with it like. Came away with the beginning watching like, okay, this is kind of there, and then you just kind of see it slipping away, and you're like, all right, it's not there. Like even when Ghost stole that second map, you still knew like okay, like this is kind of over still. At least that's the feeling I got. I know Jacob, you didn't want that to be the case, but
just as it went longer and longer, third map and then even fourth map, you can just see the sloppiness and Ghost that just wasn't there in Optic. And this is something like I said so many times in Gears 4, and I saw it in this game already. It's just look at the way these guys are Tox. Look at the way they play with numbers compared to every other team in the game. It's night and day, literally night and day.
Yep, no, for sure. Like I said, the story ended the same way it has, 17 out of 19 times, whatever the hell the stat has become now, 18 out of 20. I can't keep up with it, but the story ended. We'll put the E-League to rest, and I think that this is a part that I know people want to talk about because all 4 of us put our hands on the game quite a bit. So I wanted to jump into, now that we've put our hands on it, truly the mechanics now of Gears 5. We speculated quite a bit, right? We watched people play that escape stuff in the Microsoft stores. Like we've seen little bits and pieces, but like now we have put our 2 hands all over the controller, all over the game. We've played hours and hours and hours. I think DeMarco probably by far played the most out of all of us, of course, for good reason. But the biggest thing I came away with, and I'll make this my starting point, let you guys go from there. The thing that put the smile on my face, the thing that just that made me want to run around, bro, this fucking shotgun hits bricks. This shoddy hits bricks. You can play for damage, and you can punish people. You can punish stupid plays. And I'm going to start there and let you guys go. I'm going to let you guys go on from there and expand upon the greatness of the fact that you can play for damage.
Please let me talk first too, because like DeMarco smiling, PR smiling, because PR people don't even know PR was a shot hitter back in the day. Not me and DeMarco know, but like just from this week, I've seen 700,000 caps, like of just players I've never seen in a game in a game where you can't get punished. People I've never seen approach land or do something or do anything of equivalence, you know what I'm saying, in that game, are just yapping about how good they are already. I'm like, where is this track record of you playing the game, you know? So I'm really interested to see all the great players that are ready to come out, you know, the woodwork, because there's so many Gears of War 4 players that I can go off the top of my head that started in Gears of War 4 when this up A, you have to head down shit started. I'm sorry for the language, but stuff started. Just, you know, transfer over, because I'm positive it's not going to happen. Like, and I can name, like, I know for a fact Hive was going to transfer over easily. And that's off the top of my head. Hive will transfer, and a few other players that hang around Hive will transfer over easily. But as far as that, like for the AM pool and whatnot, as DeMarco said, there's nothing really crazy happening. It's a fact. There's nothing really crazy happening. The people that hang around, Hive, whatnot, all that stuff, and those players that we already know that hang with the pros and are coming up, the powers and the force and all of them, and Zovios. Like I said, no problem those kids. But as far as these other group of guys and some of these other players that are really inconsistent.
His mic cut out?
His mic just cut
Yeah, I
out.
think it's like two and one,
My
left.
bad.
I was saying,
My bad.
he's straight.
But now it's just like, bro, the great players are going to be great. There probably won't be any debates,
I mean, like I said, we talked about too. Like the good players are still going to be good. Like the good players are still going to be good. The pro players are still going to be pro. Now, how good is good? That starts to shift around a little bit, right? Like Praise wasn't the best player on Tox in Gears 4. I can absolutely see Praise being the best player on Tox in Gears 5, right? Obviously, Gilbert does what Gilbert does, so like that's the best is kind of subjective. But like in terms like mechanically speaking, like who hits bricks better than Praised, right? Especially when
You know who surprised me this weekend?
who?
Sleefer. Please tell me anybody watched
bro,
this match.
MVP of the weekend, honestly, bro. Guy was
Please tell me he did not. Yo, he was hitting all the shots.
Sleeper and Monkeys were going off for Ghost.
And that's one thing is like, you can hit all the shots you want, right? But you guys need to know how to play after you guys hit those shots.
Yep.
That's the thing is you're gonna have a lot of these players that can probably torture a lot of the pro players in probably 1v1 shoddy fights, but you're gonna see them nowhere. They're just gonna be nowhere.
Lose all 5 in the first round.
It was interesting to see it was interesting to see certain players, like I said, because like good players are not being good, but like the who's the I want to say gooder because that's obviously not a word, but like who's like better-ish, so to speak, mechanically starts to shine in different ways. Like and again, this is just this weekend, all this can change, but like DeMarco, for example, you get no shine in Gears 4 for your boys because you're not like flashy for all getting the most kills, right? And like you stuck out to me on your team like the most, right? And like that's not ever the case in Gears 4, right? Like the one guy I will say that stuck out, who always sticks out, was actually Rushies. Rushies gets a lot of flack for being a stupid player, a flying player, right? So, and of course, yeah. I mean, Fran, you knew a slow game. Fran's gonna be the best, like you knew that. But like Rush, Rush is one of those guys that you group in with like the wall bouncers, right? And the high flyers, and always he can't play smart. And like, bro, Rush was wilding.
He was one of the first players to not respawn.
Yeah,
I definitely give credit to Rushies because we all know Rushies is talented as fuck, but I'm gonna give props to goddamn Fran. Like, let's be very fucking honest here.
No, Fran's actually pretty hot.
Fran is not in that team. Rec does not go third.
Yeah, he was wilding. Yeah, but like I said, this fits him. This game fits him. He's like the best strafe like ever, honestly, in Gears. Like in terms, and now strafing is like much more like viable, right? Because like. If you do some of that wall bounce stuff, and again, since the topic is mechanics, Node asked me like what makes the game feel slower to you? Because obviously we all came away from this weekend saying like, all right, like the game is literally slowed down. Like it still plays fun. You can still reaction shot. You can still do all that bullshit, but like it is slowed down, right? Like it is, and the player movement speed is not different. So you guys know the base speed is unchanged, and it has been unchanged for a long time. But what is slower is what's called the slip speed. And what the slip speed is, in the chat, you guys don't know. So when we hear the word slip in Gears of War, that is basically taking cover. And so when I take cover, I'm doing what's called a slip. So now the speed in which you take cover has been slowed down. And so now you're not taking cover as fast. That obviously inherently slows the game down too. It also means that your opponent has another split second or so to shoot you while you're doing the wall bouncing shit going on in the first place. So it's so much more punishable. And players who, like I said, we've been begging for two play styles or more, so to speak, to become viable, and like it feels like that's the case now. You can LT, you can hit, focus on hitting shots versus movement, and then still see as much success as players who do have good advanced or fast, or if you want to call it movement. So that to me was like a breath of fresh air, because I've been yelling about the slip distances and slip speeds in Gears 4, and so to have the slip speed be slowed down meant the world to me.
Yep.
Is there still a speed boost on that pay?
Yes. I think Node said
yep.
They tried it, like they tried it for a couple months, and they said it didn't feel like Gears, so they put it back in.
They said that it felt stale, which again, people can have their opinion on that. That's not really. It's his call to make. Said they have obviously a ton of QA testers who play it for hours and hours and hours, so they felt like the game was more stale without it. Again, that's I guess we probably all have differing opinions on that, but at the end of the day,
like I said, it was rare that like you were getting up aid. Like
No,
if
dude.
it was rare.
But what I like
I
is
always thought
if you
in
but if
situations where you had to.
but that's what I'm getting at. Like if you do one of those moves, like it's for a reason now. It's not just like blindly. I mean, once in a while it is, but like if you hit a reaction shot right now, for example, like that's like way more impressive in this game than it was in other games, right? Because like you're exposing yourself to like bricks at that point because of obviously the positioning of how a reaction shot works, right? So like to me, like if you do those more advanced shots, like the wrap shots and obviously like some of that stuff, like it's much more like I guess because it's harder to do now, like it's more high risk, high reward. Remember in Gears 2 and like all that wall bouncing shit was high risk, high reward. Like this it feels a little more that way to me.
No, you're telling the truth. Yeah, I feel like if you try that wraparound crap, it's just like, especially like the fact that they switched made it so like when you slide on the cover or somebody slide into you, it's just like if that person hits that shot as you're sliding, it's pretty much over for you.
And because when I talk about that slip thing, the reason it's important too, like who we all every single all 55 of us in this chat right now know that there's nothing more annoying than when you're holding around cover with an LT and that dude jumps right in your cover and up A's you and you felt like you shot him, but it didn't actually connect, right? Like with a slower slip speed, like you are hitting that shot way more often. Like it is, you can't just get blatantly up A anymore unless you suck. If you suck, then it is what it is. But like you can't get blatantly up A'd at half as easy as you could before.
Yeah.
Again, that just warms my heart. As an old man in Gears, that warms my heart.
You know what change I like though?
What?
I like the Lancer change.
I do too.
It's recoil now.
I was gonna say
bloom.
predictive recoil, and that's in all the guns right now.
Yeah.
So predictive recoil.
It just makes it to where like if you can hold your shot steady while obviously with the recoil you're gonna hit your shots. There's no bloom. There's no random whatever. Like if you're bursting with it at a long distance, you're not gonna get bloomed where a couple of shots will miss. Your shots will hit.
Bro, and retro, for example, has a wild recoil pattern, but it shreds. But you saw Gilbert, of course, already picked it up, figured it out, and he was using it in the tournament, and he was just shredding people with it. So like you can like using guns is like harder now, but predictive recoil you can master guns now more.
Yep.
Guys with the marks though.
Yeah, I think the marks is getting a big ass nerf. I'll keep it a stack.
100%. They're probably gonna add more recoil to it.
They say they're taking.
I think take bullet. I would say they take. I think they should lower the clip first.
Yeah, I talked to Dana and it's clip for that Marska.
The pacing of it's good. I actually like the pacing of it. It's you can't just like as fast as you could in Gears 4 like just fucking machine gun it, right? Like it's the pacing of it's better, but yeah, way too many bullets and it's very very strong.
They just gotta keep the pace and just knock off bullets and regular.
Bro, that claw. Oh my god.
That shit is different. That shit is different.
Oh, I was absolutely frying with that thing.
Did you guys place in the tournament?
We just did it in a scrim.
Okay.
Scrim.
What
literally 4 humans.
What's the tree that builds up to it?
Hammer reverse.
Smoke, I think. Yeah. Yep.
Bro, if a team figures that, if someone figures that gun out the right way, bro, like that could be very useful.
I didn't see it this weekend that much though.
Bro, you put that on training grounds, you sit on home with it.
Yeah, that's literally the map we put it on.
Bro, sit in that I don't know what that you guys call host spot, or if you guys call that main kind of tower area, but like, bro, sit a claw up there.
On the map it's overlook, but I was calling it both that and host spot.
Yeah.
That shit's gonna be if someone like figures the recoil out the right way and like all that, that's gonna be beefy. I'm trying to think what else.
Was nice. I don't know if the hammy was that good though. I gotta wait till the game comes out.
Yeah, I didn't feel
it didn't get
I was using it, but I don't know if it hurts as much as it doesn't.
How do you feel as someone who played it about the way the smokes, the flash, and everything is separated now compared to like you're not running out of spawn with a grenade anymore.
I love it.
Unless you're one of the back spawns.
I love it.
How do you feel like gameplay wise? How much did you have to change things up?
A lot because Shock was complaining the entire weekend.
Oh, shocking.
All kind of shit. But I think like for an example like he was finest and Ghost like we learned a lot from them. I feel like they already had it down packed. Like on District they had certain like they would pull up with flashbangs and smoke. Man, I just know the meta's completely different with that stuff in the game, and it's not as bad as people make it seems. Like you're flashed, but there's a way to actually dodge it.
Well, dude, also it's honestly very. So when I first saw the clip, we all see the first video clip of when the flashbang was first kind of introduced to us, and we're like, oh my god, hell no! Like it takes over your screen. Look at it, Like for one, the radius is not that big on it, so you have to like throw it pretty well in order for it has to be a good throw in order to flash him. And like you said, you can kind of evade it, and it also doesn't last very long on your screen. So like I was expecting to walk in and say this thing is stupid. It should just be a stun. Like no, bro. Like the flashbang was honestly fine. Like it serves its purpose really well. The smoke now, one little detail too, for you guys in the chat. Now, in every Gears ever, you throw the smoke on the ground and then it kind of has this little timer and then it explodes. Now it blows up on impact. And as I slam my desk, my mic just flipped.
I like that better.
So what that means is now, like, let's use that overlook spot as an example. Now, if someone's taking overlook and you want to smoke them out, if you throw the smoke at the cover in front of them, it'll explode on the cover. So you like remember like throwing a smoke in a bowl on Reclaim, like you had to like hit it perfectly through the gate. That way it kind of hit right nicely on the floor and then smoked. Like now, if you were to throw it at the front of the bowl, for example, it would smoke. Right. So like it's more useful. And I think, like I said, teams will use the smokes more. We saw, of course, a lot of flashbangs this weekend.
And it's a UE smoke, like. That smoke, it actually works.
It's a cloud.
Like,
Yeah, it's a cloud.
You can't see shit.
You literally can't see with that thing.
No, so I was actually very surprised and happy with the balance between the two and how they both serve their purpose quite a bit. I think the Flash is actually in a really good spot.
No, it is. I agree. Flash, I think Shock shouldn't kill though, but I'll just let that.
Oh yeah, the shocks are OP in this game.
I don't think Shock should kill.
Well, it's Warzone rules now.
Yeah.
So that changes that a lot too.
It changes all that.
And it's crazy because it's Warzone rules, but chain reviving is like that thing now. Like, bro, if you were picking up your teammates, like you're in a fight and someone's getting down, it's so clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Marco, did you change your sensitivity at all this weekend?
My sound just go out? I just tweaked.
No, I hear you.
Oh, okay. It just got low. Chain reviving is like a good thing in this game. A very good thing.
Would you change your sensitivity?
Yeah, say to Marco, did you change your sensitivities all this weekend?
I just went up to. I play on 28, 25, 25, 731 on Gal 4. I made my aim excel to 10. That was it.
Okay, because I know a lot of players actually drop their sensitivities.
Oh yeah, 30s is too fast.
Yeah. Fucking awesome. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah, this time you feel that aim assist. So like you feel it. Like if you don't got aim, too bad. Like and then try that 30s on Gears 5. Like I don't see people using 30s. Yeah, don't even try it.
I talked to all of Optic because they all play on 30s and they said no, they can't do it. They all went down a little bit. I think Billy said he's on all 25s. I think
I heard a lot of 25s this weekend. Like that seems to be the magic number right now that people are rolling with.
Yeah,
it's a great feeling.
All of EU's finest, they all play on low stuff too. I don't think any of them. I think Hydron was the only one that might have played on 30s.
Don't they already play? So they already played pretty low as it is, don't they?
They play pretty low, yeah.
Matter just a little bit more, like.
I think the best thing they had knocked out was the Jackie Chan Bruce Lee come back from the dead when you roll and slide to a wall.
It's over.
That's gone. Yes,
yeah,
bro.
You roll on this game, you're dead.
It's slow. It is as it should be. If you misroll,
great.
You should be punished for it.
It's so great. I've never like I said, that was like huge. Like the fact that like that person literally has to stand up straight, upright, fully vertical, back straight and all to land that next wall bounce or roll again. It's great. It's like you literally just punish everybody that wants to press A 1,000 different times and want to try that reaction shot. Like in Gears 4, you could glide from wall to map to wall to map. Like you can glide to another map. That's how bad it was. Like and then come back and you can roll all within and still land on the wall after the roll in 3 seconds. It's sickening.
They took back a lot of things or took out a lot of things that help you like unnecessarily close the gap. So that was one of them. Obviously the slip speed being dropped, that helps, and of course the shotgun being as hard as it is, like I said, you can more confidently play sort of maybe in the open now. And so like I said, it takes away a lot of that like stupid play, right? Like it takes away a lot of like the carelessness, and of course like, we're talking about escalation next, like the respawn stuff that helps too, but just the mechanics of the game now reward like accurate play now. It rewards like just how you intelligently play a fight now. It's less brainless plays. Yeah, and I think that I know all four of us, as we're all old men, we all fuck with that.
Yeah. I guess feel about the ready kill changes.
I like that. I like the sniper.
How do you like snipe? Yeah, Drix, you snipe. How do you like the snipe? Because Fran hates it.
I like it.
I think it's good.
Yeah, I like it.
See, I like it a lot too. Fran hates it, and Fran's obviously sniped in like every Gears ever. So
yeah, when Shock picked it up, Shock said he liked it too. He's going off with it too. In a scrim.
I just realized my favorite change probably the hit markers.
Oh yeah, I was about to bring that up. No one said that. Like,
yeah.
The hit markers are
the shotgun hit marker is
the shotgun one is best.
That's the best. So people can't sit there and lie that you missed you know what you're gonna miss like when you're hitting them in a fight.
As soon as you shoot and you hit any part of their body, it's gonna show you that spread wherever the hell that spread went, and then it's gonna show you you miss. You hit.
And I like how the
missed at 5. Great.
when you shoot the shoddy, it appears on their body. Like you can see.
That's my favorite one, the
on
shoddy hit marker, and that for us,
Yeah.
Jacob, too, from like the casting world, that's going to be helpful too, because like we can, it's easier for a viewer to to recognize like if something hit or not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and as a viewer, it knows, and then if you're somebody who actually watches Gears as a viewer, you know if that player should have played up on that. You know what situations they shouldn't have, and to me, that's kind of how I just kept using it when I was looking at it. I was like, oh man, he should have played up on them. He had him bricked.
Yep.
Full spread, half a spread, he would have got him.
Yeah,
Yep.
the Lancer. The only thing is the Lancer hit marker was a little. So it's like a yellow hit marker normally, and then a red hit marker if you
Yeah.
hit him in the head, right?
Yep.
So it's like, what is it? Yellow for active, and then it's like red if active to the head.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't.
I-
The Lancer was
I
the only
think-
one I was like a little hazy on.
I think it's red to the head without an active too.
Yeah, I think it's always red to the head on every gun. I think. I think the Marks is the same way
Yeah.
too, right?
Yep. And the pistol.
Did you guys? Any of you guys use that Talon thing in scrims at all?
Jay said, Vexy said that it's good, but I think it has too much recoil.
It's.
Like,
I say I use it when we were playing Jacob our little stuff. Like I tried to use it on Foundation, and like I got a perfect shot on a guy in like open, for example. I pulled up on him, but dude, it just kicks like crazy, and like it doesn't really feel like it has much distance on it either. So a lot of times you can pistol from a good distance. Didn't feel like it had a ton of distance on it.
One time I didn't even bother using it. The Boltox so strong.
Oh yeah, another thing that we
Boltox
did say.
so strong.
No shotgun actives.
Yeah, the shotgun act. Like if you don't get that
Yes.
active or something, you only get 3 bullets.
Yep.
Something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
No
it's-
damage boost.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
to
damage.
all the guys in the chat who hasn't realized that, basically now with the shotgun and the active reload. So now I'll preface this: every single gun has a different active reload feature now. But on the shotgun, if you hit a perfect active, you get 6 bullets back. If you hit a regular active, so a non-perfect active, you only get 3 bullets back. And it took me a little while to figure that out because like, I'm having these fights and I'm like wondering, why am I running out of ammo? Like why don't I have a full clip? So now you get to get a perfect active to get a full clip back. If you get a regular active, you only get 3.
Yep. So now, like for me, like I actually count my shots, and like in
Yeah,
Gears I
it's
play.
another thing to think about.
Threw me off.
It's big in this game because you mess up, then you're literally gonna
You
get
just
slayed.
find yourself throwing that quick melee every time.
Yep. Yep.
And melee's
And
probably
they're
That's
fixing
literally
it.
why you saw people meleeing so much compared to other gears. They don't realize how many bullets they have.
They're fixing the melee too. We talked to Dana.
because it's like magnetized. Or?
It's like no, it's like a shot punch in COD. You could do it too fast. Like when you melee, your shotgun's cocked when you pull it out. You can literally shoot right after.
They call it,
Like that's how fast it is.
call you 2-piece kings.
Yeah, literally.
Shout out Nunes. What
And the melee does 50%. Literally 50%.
did I show you guys the melee speed boost?
No.
So I showed reciprocity. I can't remember if I showed someone else. I don't think I can't remember if I showed other teams this. In Gears 5, and they're gonna fix it, but in Gears 5, when you melee and then roadie run, you get a speed boost. Like the same way you get an up A speed boost. So like what I told
knew it.
When I told Rezik to do, Rezik plays first spawn a couple of their maps. I was like, all right, like, and go test it. And they tested it, and I was right. Like, what your front spawn should be doing instead of rolling out a spawn is meleeing the second you spawn and then run, because you deadass melee and become Usain Bolt.
That's what I was talking about. I was trying to tell my team, like when we were on Foundation, like just in the private, I like melee up and up.
And it's not like Gears 4. It's not like Gears 4. It is like beefy. Like it is a boot. Like you getting pushed in the back. Like it is a boost.
Yep.
And so like I said, I think it's gonna get taken out, but that was a pretty fun one. That was half the fun of the weekend, was like figuring shit out. And of course for you guys as a team,
playing it all for the first time.
yeah, man, just theory crafting, labbing it up, like figuring out like the blocking stuff, like all that. Which I guess before we move on to Escalation, is there any other like mechanics you guys can think about that we didn't touch on?
I think that's about it, to be honest.
Because
Other than that, the game is really really smooth, and it's not cartoony.
feels
like
good.
Outfor.
Feels good.
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah.
I guess that'll
was great.
kind of. I wanted to segue. We were talking about the Escalation. I want to segue us into like, as a whole now. Like we've all had plenty of time with it. Like Escalation 2.0. Like we had a whole. I don't think you were on there, Jacob. But we had a whole episode theory crafting all the stuff about Escalation 2.0. Like how it's gonna play out. Like what's the effects gonna be of it. Like all this different stuff. So like now we've played the shit out of it, myself included. Played a ton of Escalation 2. Like I guess my overarching feel about it is for the most part like very in depth, very strategical. I like some of the changes, but it is confusing. Like it is for a new viewer, it's confusing, and for a new player, it's confusing. But from a professional standpoint, it's fucking nuts now.
No, it is. It is very nuts.
Yeah, I understood it, so it was kind of easy for me to kind of catch on to and realize everything that was going on. But like, as I watched that episode you're talking about, like Benson kind of said, as a caster, as somebody who's kind of has to explain this game to people, I just
It's so hard to, in my opinion.
it's gonna be a learning process for me.
Yeah, like to explain the fact that like any team has a chance to cut like spawns of weapon timers and all this other stuff in half. It's gonna be kind of a hassle to like for casters, and I think in general for a new viewer to like really just quickly dive into Gears of War. As for like Call of Duty, is shoot kill, get to hill, shoot kill, search and destroy, plant bomb, and jump around. And then you got CS:GO, another popular game where it's like, okay, all you have to do is plant the bomb. It's an ecosystem on 1 life per round, and like it's easy to explain that general basis of Gears, but then like not Gears of that game or those games, but like for Gears, it's like it's a lot that just plays into it, and especially in this Escalation 2.0, it already was hard enough to explain Escalation to like just a new person in Gears, in my opinion. But now it's just like we gotta find something to like really just make it, snappy. That way people understand in our own terms how to, how Gears is played and how Escalation 2.0 is gonna be played.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
for
you're
sure.
just really trying to think of how to say something like that. You can place a weapon, upgrade a weapon, block a weapon, give a weapon.
Yeah, I think like for us and Jacob, we should all do honestly as talent is all get together and like work together on how some maybe some ways that you guys found worked over the weekend, or like even get with maybe guys like Node Zero and like say how do you currently explain it to new people, right? And like get together and find out ways to convey this to a new viewer, because honestly a lot of the changes like they're confusing, they take some time to pick up, but like dude, it's like strategical as fuck now. And like our biggest complaint about Escalation 1.0 was there was a huge lack of strategy. There was the comeback mechanic of, okay, like if I'm losing a round or two, there goes the boom shot. The game is now just drastically changed in a different way. Like there's just there was less strategy, right? Like okay, like right now we're in the UMG events, for example. DeMarco, you played in a lot of them, right? Every map right now is lose round, plays boom, lose round, plays boom, lose round, plays boom. No matter what team it is, no matter what map it is, like that's just what the game is now. And so now like you really can't do that in the same fashion, right? Or you have to put in work to get to that point where that boom in middle controls everything, right? So I love the thought that goes into it. I love the counterplay. I love the life restriction. I love all of it. But again, I worry about the viewer stuff. But I guess we'll leave the viewer stuff aside for a different day. I guess let's talk about as players and competitors and people who have been in the game forever. Like, what do you like the most? I'll ask each of this. What do you guys like the most, and what do you like the least? And we'll start with you, DeMarco.
Yeah, Marco.
I like that it's not like it's not just think one round ahead now. You got to think multiple rounds ahead. And then I like the little disable feature. Other than that, I mean, everything else is good. The only thing I don't like, obvious, is like all the power weapons. But
Right.
like Jay said earlier in the chat, is that when 6-6 comes around, do you see like how staticky it is? Like
Hectic.
You got Chaos missing like 30 drops, and then you got Monkeys behind him with a rocket getting killed, and you got like Rushy's killing Fran with a rocket. It's just like it's hype. Like when they hit 6-6, to be honest. But I just don't like how you could put them on like home hills. So like for an example,
Right.
like Foundation, there's a drop on second half homes, and all he does is pick it up and run mid map like with it. But other than that, I think that's like the only thing I don't like, is that you could put them on homes.
I don't know if it was a scrim or a match, but I saw literally each team had a boom and a drop, and they were fighting over a boom.
Yeah, there's some explosive shit. And those in the chat who haven't kind of played or seen some of it, like the weapons don't clear anymore. So in Escalation 1.0, the weapons clear at half. Now whatever you place down there, that's there for life. Like that's there for the entirety of the map. And another thing to DeMarco's point about like round 13, the timers now go the opposite direction. So now on round 1, it's the longest spawn timers, and then on the last round, it's the shortest spawn timers. So what that means is in terms of like hectic play, like in regular Escalation, like round 13 is the spawns are so long, like usually the first fight ends the round. Now it's like not only is there all this shit on the map, dude, people are spawning up like crazy too. So it's just like static.
But it's not to cut you off, but the funniest thing about this is that your weakest link has to be that much better, like so good. Now that's not here. What I say, you're gonna go head to head with the best, right? And you having a brawlic match. do you really think your front spawn has all 5 of his life coming in six? You know what I'm saying? Round 13? No, sir. Your front spawn is losing his life, and within wait, he'll get to kill, maybe get 2. You know, maybe get 2. Bro, he's out. You got the second spawn out. It's up to the last, up to your last 2 guys and your home hill player, and you think in your head, well, shit, I don't know what to do, and like, bro, that even adds more into that static, because like now it's like, man, it's really all or nothing. It's not who got the slaying power. It's like, can I really outsmart these guys? Because I mean, we go back to Gears of 4. You send powers, or you send Gilbert, or you send rushes in, get that. They come in around and get a nice little clean 3-piece. They can't do that now. Like, they can't do it every time, because they might not even have that opportunity. Like, it's different for players when they know they have another life, and they know, like, okay, I can go off now. I'm a guy. I'm so far forward. I caught a 3-piece, or I did yada yada and this. But in Gears 4, it was like, oh, let's keep going up, try to get the hills and everything like that. Now, you gotta take it back. That guy has to run back. He can't just waste his life, because he might be on his last life. He might have got those 3 kills, but he only took, he took 1 kill from each player that's already had 5 lives still, 4 lives. Like, it changes that dynamic of who's going to be that much more clutch. Who could be smarter? Because you're not going to have that person to go random tangents and drop 100, 45, 50 kills. And then on top of people talking about these 30+ kills, it's assists added on to kills. Nobody had 51 kills.
Eliminations.
Yeah,
they call us
yeah,
Overwatch.
Stop.
I fucked around in warm-up games, dropped 72. I was so excited, man. I was so excited.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this game, like, like I said, made support players like those are gonna be the best people in the game
On the map.
At least we could praise them a little bit more.
Yeah, like, it's
and also there's no more like as a home player, like, I tried to, like, a couple of times, like, there's no more, like, Jacob used to always tell me, like, when I was on Ghost, like, stop overstaying my welcome on people's home hills. Like, there's no more of that, because you could literally spawn up, like, you can wipe and it can just be all holding X, and next you know, you're like, you wasted your life because you're just sitting there. Like, it's not like Gal for you, where you could just sit there and then you think they're gonna come off spawn, you're gonna get like a 1v2 or something like that. Nah, nope. Not in this game.
It's interesting now. Like I said, that one of my favorite things is the new spawn system, right? Obviously, choosing when you spawn, it's almost like an economy now. Like, you have an economy, and that goes both ways. And like now what teams can start to do is, as time goes on, like, realizing too, like, what players have low spawns, right? Like, 'cause you see on the map, like, who has how many respawns left, and so now you can start to do things tailored towards knowing that a player has low spawns. Think about an IGL or a coach in the early round thinking about, okay, where are these players playing on the initial, right? Okay, let's actually push the hell out of this initial, because we know this kid has low spawns, right? So like, despite a weapon being over here, like, hey, actually we know that Kenny on Simplicity is playing over here and he has low spawns. Like, let's actually bully that spot and go for that kill and just kind of mess with their resources, right? And so that's one thing that I definitely like a lot too, and so it makes you think that much more, and just another layer of thought for our players to have, and that's what we like. We like people having to think before they act, and that's one step closer to that. Yeah. Jacob, what are your likes, dislikes, favorite, not favorite?
I mean, you guys named a couple of them, but just to be a little bit different, is one thing I liked is the side weaponry. Like I said, some of the maps will kind of have certain things you need there on the side, but I like how it opens up to where you want to build it a certain way, but on the way of building to a drop shot or a boom shot, you can put that mark, so you could put that hammer burst or whatever it be, the retro, up leading up to it. And then let's just say there's a boom shot on the map, you got freaking torque bow and double snipes possibility and double M bars, so the players who are good with certain weapons can actually show off they are good with those weapons again, because as you know, double snipes is kind of taken off in Gears 4, so having that auto snipe and that ability to kind of have that quick headshot off an opening round, or that late headshot in round 13 while everyone's kind of camping away, and that opens you up for the win. Those moments are back, and I love those little moments that allows for those certain style of players to shine.
Yeah, I agree.
One thing I love now too is that the 2 hills gives you 2 points now. That is
so simple,
right? Sounds crazy, but
the time be moving.
That's good though. You're rewarded for holding a setup, right? You're rewarded for winning the objective, playing the objective.
One thing I don't like though, and Benson harped on it, is I don't like all the timers that are everywhere on the map that are just so easily accessible. I hate. Well, no, it's just there's Benson said it perfect. There's no skill in that. Like in Gears
makes
4,
easy,
when I'm
yeah.
running around, I quickly press back and I'm like, all right, press back. Booms at 2:03 on the clock. Like
Yeah.
I will tell you exactly when while I'm playing. I will tell you like as a coach you have that. So for it to just automatically constantly be up
I
there
agree.
for you to see it kind of sucks.
It
It
does
takes with
suck.
that element of skill of getting outplayed because you
Learning it too.
kind of
Yeah,
can
like
see it.
What
Yeah.
I will say
yeah.
too. Oh, sorry, go on, Frank.
No, you go. You
I
go.
say what I
was gonna say
don't.
something.
Speaking on the topic of timers too, like obviously like the screen now tells you like so and so will win on whatever. That timer is low key catfish though, because it says like someone's gonna win in like 51 seconds, but in reality like if the other team has like a 2 cap, like I don't know, it doesn't feel like the same way of like we went on 1, we went on 2, we need a break, we needed this, we needed that. So like
Yeah.
we came into it thinking like coaches are gonna no longer have to worry about that. Like no, like to me like
It's
No, that
catfish.
part.
I don't look at that thing. If I'm a
part's
player, bro, with a coach, I wouldn't look at that at all. It's still up to your coach. Like we went on 1, we went on 2. Like we need a break. Like
Yeah.
we can hold with this. Like no, we need to go get that. Like because
Yeah.
way different ball game than I thought it was gonna be.
I seen
Yeah.
that too. Like I seen him in Rec. Rec was like winning around against Ghost, and it looked great. And out of nowhere, you're like, they lost another hill. They lost a neutral, and then they lost their home for like a hot second, but they got it back out of nowhere. Ghost winning the round in 25 seconds, and it was like okay, like it went from Rec 40 seconds to Ghost winning 20 in a heartbeat, get snapped on it. And
But
I
that
think
that 2 seconds.
That late round, yeah, that
Right.
late round can change so like
Quick,
like
yep.
those I call it and when I cast I call it the game of touches. Like when it's those situations where like you're down a little bit in points, but like if you have the 2 cap and like they're trying to cap their home and you kind of just keep touching it, like not touching it, not touching. I call it the game of touches. Like that game of touches stuff can be so much more important now towards late rounds when your 2 cap is like I said run the clock up like that. So it's gonna be interesting too.
Yeah.
no, that's a fact.
Trying to think what else are some of the cool stuff that we love.
What is there else?
Oh, actually, we missed some mechanics, by the way. I want to ask all three of this because I apparently I'm the only person at this point who doesn't. Do you guys like the new Omen?
You know what's crazy? It doesn't bother me like.
Yeah,
when
I
you're
didn't know
playing,
too much.
You don't really be paying attention that much, to be honest. Like you just know when you're hurt. You're like, all right, I gotta get out. Let me like reset, and then
It also makes more players scared.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
I
You
just
gotta
gotta
know
get used to
when
the
it hits your
damage values.
bonfire.
That's all it
Yeah.
is. You just gotta get used to the damage values of things again, and then I feel like it won't be that much of an issue, that much of a
Nah, I
difference,
won't.
because realistically, you know how many shots you're gonna take, you know how much damage you're taking, so on
Yeah.
and so forth.
That was actually
Yeah,
my
yeah.
biggest gripe of the weekend was the fucking Omen, like which is again honestly in the grand scheme of things means that I like the game a lot because all it is like a damage indicator. So it means obviously like everything else is good, but like yeah, I always ask people now because like I feel like I'm at this point everyone got used to it. Like I'm still not used to it. Like, I still never like I feel like I don't know how hurt I am, and so it's not gonna note about like trying to toggle it. But either way, I gotta just get used to it. But I wanted to make sure I asked the three of you before I forgot about it.
yeah. Oh yeah. Also, alternate people get to the same spot as the default people at the same time.
Gotta
Yeah,
love
really?
it.
There you go.
Got
Yeah.
to love
Yeah,
it.
I don't know if you were watching Fran like go up top. He was meeting whoever was playing up top on Ghost. They were throwing their flashes at the exact same time.
Good.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Gotta love
Yeah.
it.
I guess is there any questions in the chat? I guess we should open this up. We'll kind of open it up to questions you guys have about like Gears 5 mechanics, escalation, anything over the weekend. Real quick.
I saw Vexy's he brought up because he was having trouble with, like with the blind fire or whatever. Like the blind fires are different because there's no auto aim. So like
It was
Good.
never
You
auto aim.
gotta-
But notes said there wasn't auto aim. Yeah.
Yeah, there's never auto aim in comp.
You know the crazy part is they say that, but bro, like it might be in head, but I swear to you, not if you like pop shot a 4, and you do it right, it feels easy. Like everything feels pretty slight. Like I don't know why it feels like that, but this feels like just people. Maybe it's just because you played it for so long that it feels that way. And just people slide into it, or you don't get that chunk, or it's just easy to brick somebody in that game. Like I just feel like, I feel like it's just been too easy all this time. And like I said, maybe it's just because it's a new game to an old game. That's just how I feel. But I guess for Gears 5, I just feel it's to be totally different. Like for a fact, you could just tell aiming is a real thing. Like you gotta aim. You gotta have some type of thumb control. You know.
yeah.
Yeah, I was having a sensitivity crisis all weekend, like on my LTs, like trying to figure out like what the formula was because like, I felt like I was like an inch off. And then I felt like I was an inch off that I wasn't in the previous games.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
But I also haven't played Gears in a while, so it might just suck. So I'm not taking it off the table.
Me and you both.
Let's see.
I think this game got a lot of potential to be
Also
big.
facts.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind too, this is the first build, like essentially, like there's still improvements that can be potentially made in Escalation. Again, I don't know how much they're willing to change, but there's improvements that could be made in Escalation. Of course, mechanically speaking, they're gonna tweak little things too, which is like this feels like what I imagine is what our best starting point in quite some time. Jake, I mean, I know
Yes.
you've played
No,
all the
I agree.
gears, like
This probably is. This maybe as realistic as it sounds, even Gears 4, like, but I think this probably is the best starting point because we have the market in terms of like E-League being on TV. We have the
Yeah.
support in terms of like
I just mean the game itself,
pre-release.
like the
No,
the
that's what I'm
game, like
saying. The,
yeah.
the game, the mechanics, everything is there. It's all built in the game. And then from everything afterwards, they're gonna work with us. They're already done it in the past. So I just feel like it can only go up from here, realistically.
Yeah, you can.
Yo, what's up, DeMarco? We streaming on Friday? Squad stream?
I'm literally not getting off the game.
I'm saying, bro, I'm not getting off the game. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why, like, if you're hopeful at home, like I'm an old man now, and I can't wait to not go to sleep and just play.
I'm literally down for it. I'm doing a 24-hour, bro. Not kidding.
I'm gonna see how long it can last.
You know how many
Alright.
pro players are gonna do the 24-hour?
How many?
Trying to tell you. I actually wait, Jacob. We can't say that
I would
because
I would think
a
like,
lot of
it's the
people are
only
not
smart thing to
dedicated,
do.
bro. A lot of people is not dedicated.
Unfortunately, you're not wrong.
I'm going to
But-
work.
I might have to mute might have to mute my mic for some conference calls, but I'll be on still. You feel me? It's just one of those.
I'm
Like, a
definitely
lot of
going to
people is
work.
not dedicated. Like, I don't know, bro. Hopefully people get it together.
I'm dedicated, but I'm definitely going to work. Get me fucked up. Fuck all this.
That boy Nunez is taking the half day and Monday off.
Yeah, it sounds great. I'm at work.
People need to be streaming. Like, somebody got to be the first to make a montage. Stuff like that. Like, people got to be on it if they want this game to grow, and not stream the game. Like, for an example, like Gal 4. Like, I literally stream the game, and everybody always come in my stream. Why are you still playing this game? Like,
Because content season.
And I like rank, so I love playing rank. So you'll never. I got like 222 days on this game on Gal 4. And like you just gotta, you can't just pull up last minute on some like, all right, now I'm a grind. Like I'm grinding now. No, that's not grinding,
They're
bro.
gonna
You
watch
waited
you.
till no one streams.
People.
Yeah,
They're gonna watch
that's what I'm
you.
saying.
They're gonna watch fucking Sleeper. Sleeper's been
Yeah.
grinding.
And look at his weekend.
Yep.
Right?
Literally.
Best player in the building at that point. Like, dude, he was going off. Like, I don't care if they didn't win the tournament, bro. He was a Super Saiyan. Whatever he put in his hands, he was smoking everyone.
Like people just got to be on it this time around.
I guess speaking of growth, I mean, let's use that to segue into kind of our final point in the night. And again, this point gets met with a little bit of I don't know if controversy is the right word, but definitely some surprise in the fact that now going forward we have pro leagues again, and our circuit is going to be run alongside PGL and no longer MLG. And so it's kind of a much different format. Of course, I think we had 6 open events per season in MLG, spread out wherever they were spread out, and that was kind of what we did. We had things like Fight Nights and 2Ks and stuff, but it was more of a circuit-based system. And now it sounds like, from the information we have, it is going to be some sort of pro league. We don't know if it's online or LAN, but it's going to be some sort of pro league, and it's going to be I think 5 of them. I think it's North America, Europe, Latin America, South America, and APAC. So it's going to be 5 pro leagues, and then 3 majors and a Worlds. Which Worlds sounds fucking lit. Like
That sounds lit.
That sounds fire. Like,
That sounds like it's something we've been longing for.
we all watch COD Champs. Like we watch Halo Worlds. Like we watch LCS Worlds. We watch Dota International. Like we watch all that shit, right? So like to have our own version of that, like that is exciting to me. Like I'm hyped for that.
And
there's also regional events that's set on there too. So like don't just think that it's only 4 LANs and that's it. There's gonna be I imagine like a plethora of other ways to play.
Yeah, and for those of you guys who don't know, PGL, like Ryan mentioned, the
legit.
international for Dota. PGL runs the international for Dota, right? So you got Fortnite that has record $30 million. PGL, the international for Dota, is on pace to crowdfund $34+ million.
Money.
Yeah, I don't know if they're running this one, but
and I know they're not putting up the prize money. You gotta think the show they're gonna put on for a $34 million tournament.
Yeah.
Well, here, I'll look it up right now, just so you guys have an idea. I don't know if they're running this international, but they've run the international in the past alongside a plethora.
I think it is because the 2 people who run it came in our room, and they're saying they're holding. I think right now it's $28 million.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the PGL page right now, and dude, FIFA Champions Cup. They ran something for PUBG. Obviously, all the stuff for Dota, Blast Pro Series from Counter Strike, like minors, majors, the International 2016, International 2017, like Europe Championship. Like I'm seeing something for Rocket League. Like PGL was fucking Hearthstone. They're legit. It's like so.
Yeah.
Again, and like I prefaced this before the show. Like MLG was a life changing experience, company, movement. I don't know what you call it. Era for me. I know for you guys too. Like
Twice.
multiple times, literally like life changing when I first went to MLGs, and then life changing when we got MLG back later in life, right? Like two different times that what they created, and what Sundance and Adam Epicel and all those guys episode, like what they built is why we're here today, honestly.
Well, everybody's here.
Literally, like we're all here because of that. So like while I'm very excited to have a new operator, I also want to make sure we give all the love in the world to MLG for doing what they did. At the same time, PGL runs some fucking wild shit, so dude, I can't even. We're gonna have our stages are about to look crazy. I have a feeling, bro, because like you see some of the big stages they put for other games, like, dude, I don't know, man. Like if all coalitions seem very, very, very excited about it, so if they're very, 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 very excited, like you got to know they're cooking up something crazy.
I'm glad they're in the Pro League too, because it literally separates this talk and just best players who play just do the action, because that's what Gears 4 was. It was just a bunch of talk 3 months in a row, and then the same results that one month in the tournament, and that's literally what Gears 4 was. There was so many catfish kids talk, then show up after 3 months and do jack shit, and like the Pro League is gonna either you're gonna nut up or shut up. Like it's that simple. Like, and you're gonna show up when the time comes every time, or you're not. Like,
and the only thing
my only fear
is, I think you go. I think you're gonna say what I'm gonna say. Go.
What is if you don't make the pro league? What happens to the community?
Right. They have experience. And when ESL did stuff, ESL didn't run open events. When ESL did stuff, it was pro league or die. And so I have a feeling they will not do that again. I have a feeling. I can't remember if they mentioned open events. I would be shocked if there's no open events. Honestly, like there's no way.
Well, the 3 majors are open.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
The culture of our game is open events, and it's always been from the beginning, right? Like even hype, despite being scaled down, was an open event, right? Like that is our bloodline. And so I'm with you. As long as they support the amateur community the right way, and those outside of the pro league, or have some kind of maybe contenders or path to pro or whatever it may be, as long as there's a plethora of things to do so that AM players feel incentivized to play and incentivized to still have the desire to make the pro league, then that to me is going to be all right. Just as long as it's not done like it was the first time with the ESL. And again, I think that they recognize that. Keep in mind, they still work for the company, so like they were there for this too. So again, that is my only reservation as well, Jacob. But I'm confident that they will tackle that head on and still give the amateur community enough reason to still play and compete. Yeah. Now, what does mean is no more 2Ks maybe, because 2K is an MLG thing.
Yep, that's true. Yeah. Also, a big thing that keeps coming up is like the age limit. I don't know.
I heard.
I keep hearing this 18 plus,
I'm hearing
but I've
18.
never actually seen anything.
I want to say I heard. I can't remember where I heard it from. I thought it was 17 with parental consent.
Okay.
That sounds more reasonable. I don't know. It could be 18 though. Isn't COD 18?
Yeah.
Yep. It's a different league though, but. Well, I don't know why like the word 17 age consent. I think of a different game.
I ain't worried.
How old's Hive? Well, yeah, we're all 47, but how old's Hive?
They're like, I think
7.
I think
16,
most of them. I think that most of them are good to go.
Yeah,
I think most
so
of them are good to go. Yeah, I think most of them are good to go. Like for all the upcoming players that that are actually doing good, like I said, off Hive. I only can name Hive like out of the amateurs that play, like other than older pros. But I'm saying like players that literally like are making like that. They're on the come up. And different, and good strides, high. Off the top of my head, I think they're straight for the rest of the season.
Shiny said Jeff made a tweet. If it's 18 plus, it's just him and Tidy. If it's not the OG.
So that means what? The Noe TJ.
I hope it's 17.
Are 17 then?
Yeah.
I hope it's 17 because I want to see those kids get a shot.
Yeah, I would hate a world.
I would hate it too.
I don't know when their birthdays are, but I would hate a world where those three, like Noe, TJ, and Demise can't play. Like those are, like I said, three future stars of our game. Like literally.
I'll be sick to not see them play. Like those kids' talent out the roof.
Those three are all super sick with it. Like we need that's a storyline we need. Like that's like the young bloods.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Bro, could you imagine like an Excels on top of like 4 of those people, like just a Noe demise force, and you know what I'm saying, like who else? Who am I with? Tidy or something like that, or Toady, like just Excel's yelling at them, telling them what the
I
hell
was
to do
thinking, yo,
every second.
could you imagine the Excel slandering the young kids?
Oh my god, he would torture
That would
Chris-
be something to
Chris
see. I'm
Chris
not
got the
gonna-
most creative slander ever, bro. Chris will be saying
He
the
would.
funniest stuff about them being young.
he would torture them, but for a fact he would make them one. He would make them some good ass players. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Hey,
keep that real.
Chris will be nasty if he comes back and plays.
Oh yeah, for a fact,
Excel's is
100%
gonna be
dog,
nice.
A dog.
Cause he never used to do all like the super. He had movement stuff, but he never did the super crazy stuff. He had shots like, and now he could be like that strategical floor general, and like the game slowed down into his pace more. He's good with secondaries. He's good with power weapons. Like Chris would be. Obviously, he's doing good things in Fortnite and shit, but he would be dumb nice at this game.
Yeah,
Too nice, bro. Too nice.
I feel like he's gonna come back. I feel like he's got it, bro. He's too good at it.
I think once he sees this weekend, I think he'll have his mindset. I want him to really get a chance to come back because I feel like
I think it all depends on what Fortnite does after World
That's
Cup.
a fact.
It's true.
That's a fact.
I mean, I think he could play both still, to be honest. But I mean, we've talked about that before. I think he could play both.
Possible.
What else we
Marco,
got?
What about? And we were going to talk more about the pro league and the teams and who will stand and who will fall. But going back to it now, I'm gonna agree with Marco even more. Like, there's no team changes. Like in my opinion, really happening. Like right now, Glory.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe.
Man, Glory.
No, never mind. I do see something.
I think so. I think a storm's a brewing. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just you know
gotta be right.
you know how
I
kids
ain't gonna
are.
lie,
You know how kids are.
can't-
It's a storm brewing, but I don't think it's a big storm.
It's still off season, bro. Like you know how it is.
And the
Dude.
game's not even out yet.
Yeah.
You know, Gears
What's
kids get
that pro
thirsty.
I'm
league
saying.
last hit?
Marco, be like.
Gears kids get thirsty. Yes.
As soon as the game comes out, that's when the DM is about to be messed up.
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
It really depends on that first week of scrims and how that all plays out. Because
Man, let's just see who runs stack on Friday. Watch. That's what it's
Oh,
Who
yeah.
wants some bets on
Man,
Excel's
look.
coming back and taking someone's spot?
oh yeah, 100%.
See, like, even Shiny said in the chat, like, if Excel does come back, like, that could force a change on its own. Like
But
do
Excel-
you
Chris
come
comes
back,
back, he's going
somebody's
straight to
up.
wreck.
Yeah. If
You think
Excel
Rec?
comes back,
Hell yeah.
him and Fran, two
Why would you say
leaders.
that? Yeah. I don't know.
He ain't going to talks. He ain't coming to my team. I can tell you that. I'm good.
How you know? No, I'm kidding.
What about,
Right?
what about
Listen. I know how Excel is. Me and Jay,
Yeah,
I'm a grown ass man. I don't care.
Speedy
I
and
don't
the
care how
Glory
good you are.
Kids.
Yeah, there you go. He can go right to Dylan.
he goes to
He ain't
Soto.
coming to no rise.
Soto.
I'm
I
smooth
think,
up that.
I think he goes to Soto because him and Soto are
That
a
too.
duo.
Him,
Yeah,
Soto,
I
and
think
Speedy. Him, Soto, and Speedy had success together.
Him, Soto, and Crash.
Him,
Yeah,
Soto,
that's-
Speedy, Crash. Yeah, it was Frag out as the fifth, who obviously kind of fell off.
yeah.
But
That's right.
they were a good ass team. Those four.
Great.
No, they
team.
were.
This
That was
team
bot, right?
Damn,
it's
throw
not- yeah,
Pell in
bot.
there?
Oh yeah, Pell.
Yo.
Or Sam?
I mean,
Pell or
yeah,
Sam?
Pell.
Soto's gonna have to choose quick.
Sam. Like I'm gonna say Sam because Sam was way more of a. I'm not knocking Pell. Like don't even like get on that, but I'm not knocking him. He's a great player. But Sam, team player wise, I'm gonna just take Sam as a team player and just I know, just all around player.
Yeah, I would pick Pell just because I would pick Pell over Sam.
You pick Pell? I mean, look.
Yeah.
I think the ceiling. I think the ceiling's higher on Pell. Like he's gonna
Okay.
he needs to transition because he's a Gears 4 kid. Like he needs to learn how to.
And he doesn't have to think as much with Excels. He can just.
Yeah, the ceiling's higher with Pell, but he needs to learn how to not just up everything. But like he's one of those fast players. He's incredibly skilled. He's like a Vic. Like Vic's gonna have to learn too. Like Vic's got some time to put in. But like he'll
I don't
like
see
both
Vic
those
being
dudes will right. But something both those dudes will be fine. They're both psychotically skilled players. But
Yeah.
I think Pell's ceiling's higher than Sam's.
I feel that one. I can see what you're saying that.
Which again, like I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe we're basing the ceilings off of a prior game, but I still think that.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see like how
Speculation.
Sam work in the teamwork wise, but like I can't.
yeah, Sam's
You don't
he's
even know the game yet.
trying to think what else can we talk about real quick, just PGL wise or Pro League wise. Anything we left out? Like I said, we don't have a ton of details. So you guys know in the chat, we know as much as you know, and we're looking forward to hearing everything as well.
I think they said like when I was talking to him about the age thing, they said they're gonna announce something in like a week or two.
No shit. Yeah, I mean, like I said,
funny.
Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I can see it being. I mean, I can see it being 18. Like just because of where we're going, it'll be easier for TC to do 18, not TC, but PGL. It'll be easier for them to do 18 because they'll know off the rip everybody's able to go without even without parental consent. Everybody be able to go. Like a kid can go, even if his parents didn't want him to go, he could still go just legally by himself. Like it would just be easier. I'm not saying kids should sneak out and just sneak past the parents to do it, but it's just easier for PGL to do it. So I would see them taking that 18 plus route. Just because of where we might be going, because if they're saying if they're saying Asia and all this other crap, and if there's leagues over there, I don't know, man. Like I see an 18 coming, Like I don't know. Like it's just my opinion, but
yeah, I mean I don't know where the events are going to be, but yeah, like I think 17 with parental consent would make more sense to me. Like
it would definitely make.
But open it up a little more, I guess.
It definitely make more sense, and I hope it happens like that.
There's also a whole legal side of this that we don't often think about as well. And I've said I know this because I work for a tournament operator. Like there's always the legal side of things as well when you're operating these that could expose yourself to certain risks. So there's always Call of Duty went 18 plus for a reason, right? So and our game is very very gory, and there's all that again 10 different layers, but. Again, I guess we'll hopefully find out soon. I guess, like I said, the Gears marketing plan has kind of been like, once they get going, they're just going. They're dropping new shit all the time, and they've been dropping new things left and right. And so I assume we're going to keep hearing all kinds of new stuff until the game comes out. I guess just before we kind of close out, reminder to everyone in the chat that beta's this weekend. So obviously we've talked about this for a long time. If you have your opportunity to get your hands on the game starting on Friday, I believe at 10 a.m. Pacific, if I remember correctly, I think it was.
Yeah. 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 a.m. Eastern. It's 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, and so
10 a.m. Pacific.
If you pre-order the game, I believe you get the tech test. If you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, I believe you get the tech test. I think those are...
hold on. One E-League recap. If you guys were there, if you guys got the bag, it actually comes with the fucking Ultimate Game Pass.
I got two right here.
So if you guys were there, don't worry about playing the tech test because at least you guys have that.
So I was gonna put it in. You can right now you can upgrade your Xbox Gold to Ultimate for $1. So I just did that. I'm gonna save these.
Yeah. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Gears. Then they did something right with that one. They did something right with that. Not making people pay for $60 for that game. Man, they did something right.
Oh, with that. and Gears 5 is on Steam.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be big.
Yeah, that's gonna be
gonna
great.
open it up to other people to play the game.
It'd be pretty cool. I mean, actually, no, I don't want Gears to ever be competitive wise on PC. I'm just keep it real. I would hate that shit. So I'll keep it on controller.
Yeah, we're about to get. You think it's bad getting reaction shouted by kids on controller?
Yeah. I didn't want to play a kid that has that ability to come to the tournament with a mouse and keyboard. I'll tweet.
Well, that's interesting to think about too, like the future of LAN events, because Xbox is like literally creating, and I think I have created hardware support for mouse and keyboard on the Xbox.
They did.
So in theory, like if Microsoft goes by that same kind of I guess like path, like there could be a world where like you're allowed to pull up with a mouse and keyboard to LAN events, bro. Like, can you imagine that?
I hope they drop it like COD and be like, hey,
I'm ready.
Bro, I got final mouses lying around, bro. I'm fucking ready. Like, you feel me?
I really hop on real quick to start learning mouse and keyboard without a doubt in my mind.
Alrighty, well, like I said, I think we're heading towards kind of the end right now. Is there anything before we kind of wrap up? Any guys questions in the chat you want to throw at us before we close out, or any kind of things we haven't thought about in terms of E-League or Gears 5, Escalation, PGL? I think we kind of covered quite a bit of it, at least based on what we all felt over the weekend.
Yeah.
I think it's an exciting time. I think again, like we can't say it enough. Like this is crazy to think about. Frank just dipped out of the call, but I don't think you knew that we wasn't done yet. It's gonna make the closing a little weird, but I guess does Kyle eat ass? Yes, actually. I think he's pretty open about it, but you should ask him yourself on Twitter and then tag me in it.
Yes, actually.
Oh, Frank's back.
Oh shit!
I don't know what happened.
If we don't have any more questions in the chat outside of what Kyle does in the bedroom, we will go ahead and start to close that out, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Jacob, of course, you're stuck with me quite a bit. But DeMarco and Frank, I appreciate you both stopping by. First-time guests. I hope it is not the last. You know we're doing this every week until they tell us to stop. So I hope to have you guys back again. Any kind of let you go first, Drix. Any closing thoughts or anything you want to say before we head out?
Amateurs don't suck, please. And stick together for once in your career. So, we can have a chance to be optic or tox, whatever you want to call them. That's about it. Oh, and stop lying to these orgs.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, DeMarco, for adding on to my, you know what I'm saying?
Other than that,
yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
People don't
Be
believe
honest.
that. You got people out here lying on orgs. Team Gates. What the fuck is Team Gates doing in fucking 24th place? Hello, I'm not calling out any of the Team Gates players, but why the fuck is it? Never mind. But let that rock. Man, what DeMarco said, man, like, don't suck. Like, there's people that talk the talk and walk the walk, and like I said, there's a lot of talkers in this community, and I'm not saying I'm not one of them because I like to talk a lot. So, but man, I can walk some of that walk. But man, it's either show up or don't show up at all. Like, and create. Yeah, what Reaper says, create content. Like, everybody needs to do it. I don't even care if you're an AM and nobody knows you. Just create it.
Content season, baby.
Yeah, like. Whatever, like, it doesn't matter if you have 0 viewers, 1 viewer, 100 viewers. Just create that content. Like, we need it. Gears needs it. We didn't do it in UE. We didn't do it in 4. It needs to be done now, or we're not gonna have a game to keep playing. Simple as that.
Cool.
So.
And Jacob, closing thoughts?
I mean, said it before. This is just the beginning of something amazing for us as a community, as both casual and non-casual. Just come together, love the game. Just let your passion lead you realistically, because you'll never know where you end up. Like, look at me.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
Just
Yeah.
put your all into it if you love it. If you love competing, put your all into it regardless. Like,
Baby Alex.
one pro league isn't the end all be all. Just Coalition's not gonna leave us high and dry. So.
Oh, one more thing.
Got it.
My bad. Cut you, PR. Every single take a note. Take a note from like DeMarco, Ryan, and Jacob's book. Every pro, every upcoming pro, and every AM, stop acting tough and all this crap and talking crazy on Twitter. It looks so stupid. So stupid. I've done it in the past. A lot of us done it in the past. Stop. You just need to cut it out. CSGO has players. They have grown men who don't even get into those debates and arguments with people. We keep it professional as possible. Like, we have to act the part if we want to be the part. It's simple as that. Like, we cannot be out here threatening, every time you get a chance because you want to act tough for a day and a half. Like, that's all. Like, get along, act professional. You don't have to like somebody, but you know what I'm saying? Like, look good. Look good for the camera. Look presentable.
You look good.
Act professional.
You look good.
Yeah. Oh no, really? Yeah, but that's you know what I'm saying. You know how I'm saying, Ryan. Like, we have to act this part now. We can't just be like, we can't be. This is not Gears Ballroom. If you really want this to live last long, like, this isn't like Gears of War Hyperstation. We got bandanas on and drinking Fireball. You know what I'm saying? Fireball.
I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
but like, bro, let's really like take this chance to like actually do a bid. That goes for every single person across Gears of War. It doesn't matter if you're a campaign player to a pro player or to just a regular casual player day by day. If you're gonna like support Gears of War, you're gonna just be on that stage and this community. Let's act right. Let's not act stupid. That's all I got to say.
Very well said, and I guess to kind of just piggyback on that, yeah, I agree, man. Dress up to the part you want to play, dress up to the job that you want to get. And, content season, like I said, make content, show up, be professional. I think even I saw Rose the other day tweet out, like, a few days ago or, like, a few weeks ago, like just note that, like, professionalism on Twitter is not unnoticed. I saw her tweet that herself, right? So, again, just it's not always worth it. I used to be a psychopath on social media, too. I used to be the same psychopath in the ballrooms. Like, I get it. I've been there. I've been young. It sounds cool to be cool, but like I said, at the end of the day, especially in 2019, like, professionalism will always get you where you need to go. And so I guess, like I said, a lot of these guys kind of covered everything. I'll continue to just say that it is a very, very exciting time to be a member of the competitive Gears of War scene, to be a part of Gears Esports. If you're new to Gears Esports, you've joined at the right time. We have a ton of fantastic stuff ahead of us. Obviously, E-League was incredible over the weekend. We have a fantastic, I don't know if we call it a season, we have a fantastic something ahead with PGL for sure. And I just know the Coalition, after hanging out with them this weekend and just talking to them, they want this to be big so bad, and they put so much time and effort into it, and they're planning so many big things. And we've only seen just the tip of the iceberg, right? There's still so much that we're going to be exposed to that's going to be even more exciting and newer and bigger and better. So, if you can, just take a time, maybe Send a tweet over to Binks Medina, Node Zero, Dana, Coalition, those guys. Say thank you. Tell them thank you from the viewers in the Caster Curse, and tell them that you appreciate them and everything they're doing, because they just put in so many crazy hours to make this possible for us. So I guess I will use that as kind of my outro. Just I'm excited as ever. Beta is going to be on Friday. I will be streaming the entire thing. I'm not gonna say I'm doing 24-hour thing. I'm old. I gotta sleep, but I'm gonna play the hell out of it. Hopefully I'll get some games with DeMarco and these dudes and some of the pro players and have some fun there, because it's always a good time with those dudes. And yeah, definitely be on the lookout for my stream starting whenever the hell the beta starts and ending wherever it ends. That'll do it. Like I said, guys, thank you so much for staying the whole time. If you are on YouTube, you always say it, you were a real one for staying all the way through to the end. Thank you so much. Guys in the chat right now on Twitch as well, if you can, please subscribe to the YouTube. We are uploading every single episode to my YouTube channel, and we'll continue to do so. This one will be up here maybe tomorrow or towards the end of the week. But that'll do it for me, Ryan Fools. Again, I had some of the best guests. I'll say casters, best guests in the game here tonight. Again, won't be the last time they are here. So, from Ryan and the entire Caster Curse, thank you, and we'll see you next time.